This is part 2 of our timing belt replacement, the front timing belt on the Discovery 4. Now this is the 3 litre, so this is the SDV6. It's also called the 2 litre, the 3 litre TDV6, but it's the 3 litre which is different to the older 2.7 litre one. Right, so we have, and I'll put the link there, in part 1, remove the timing cover. So we've got good access there, we can see the timing belt, we haven't loosened anything on the belt itself or that, but we've got it all exposed. So this video, we are going to remove the starter motor, find the timing mark, put the lock pin in the flywheel, and then we're going to remove the belt. And then we'll move on to part 3, which will be how to do the timing and put the belt on and all that stuff. Right, so first thing, in part 1, we have not yet removed the battery, disconnected the battery. We need to disconnect the battery. The socket's there, Ian, it's loose actually.
Which one are we taking off?
Take off the positive. And then, only because it's accessible, just lift that up. Why are we taking off the battery? Because we're going to be working at the starter motor and there's live wires down there. So right, yeah, and jam something there to stop it reconnecting. Right, so that's that. Right, now we've so the starter motor. Now, right, there is a big debate about, well, not a big debate, a small debate about whether you should remove the starter motor. Do you need to? And you don't need to. And I reckon most garages don't. They just lock the cams and change the belt. But over time the belt can stretch, and when you replace the belt, you're replacing it to the stretched position. Now this car's done 200,000 miles, so what we will do, if you watch the series, we will see how far out the timing has got as the belt has stretched, to see whether there is any validity to the argument that you need to do it every time, or just go with what's on there and do it the same. We'll have a look. Right, enough waffle. Right, so we're going to get under the car, so it's a bit of a pain. We'll see how long it takes. We've got to remove these undercovers, so you've got, do we need to remove the front one? Probably not, just that sort of middle one there. Now we might not have the original fittings on ours.
I'm pretty sure we don't.
I'm pretty sure we don't, because they are particularly shiny if you look, and they, compared to everything else on our 10-year-old motor car here, it's right. Okay, so we're going to get those. Now while Ian's doing that, I'm going to grab the light and show you, before Ian gets there, what we're looking at. Now apparently we should have a panel underneath the car here, but we haven't got it on ours, so let me just show you that. So we have got the car jacked up, we've got it on axle stands. Obviously we've got a nice clean workshop, so we're lucky, but yeah, make sure you've got the car jacked up. Now you probably don't need to remove the wheel, we've done it just to give us a bit more room and a bit more angle on the camera to show you what's happening. So we're going to dive under the car, so follow me under here. Okay, hopefully you can keep track of where we're going. And then if we look up here, this is the suspension arm, and then up behind it, now apparently there should be a plastic panel in this area here. Now I'm going to get the light and see. Now if you look up there, you can see that we've got a starter motor, and this is what we've got to remove. Okay, so it's not too bad. I'll go and show you on the instructions on the Land Rover manual, but basically we've got some wires to take off, then we've got some breather pipes to take off, and then we've got a rear bracket and some bolts. Now it's going to be tricky to film a lot of that, but we're going to see how long it takes. But we've got fairly good visibility there of what we're looking at. We can at least see the fixing bolts on the starter motor there. Right, okay, so let's go and have a look at the manual. Ian's got it open on the laptop. Okay. Whoop, it's catching up with me. Right, so I don't know quite how well this works on the laptop. Let me just go a bit bigger. Right then. So what it's basically telling us we need to do, right, is it's saying that there is this plastic panel under there. We don't have that, but it seems to show some plastic fittings there. You can see those plastic fittings. And then on the next step, it's showing you disconnecting some breather pipes off the starter motor, which I think is when it gets in water it stops it filling up. Alright. And then what Ian's got to do, we're sending him under the car, it looks like he's got to disconnect, that's some more breathers. Now there's a note here if you've got TSS. Now I think if you've got the stop start there's a little bit more to do, but we don't have that. Okay, quick with TSS, you've got a bit more to do. And then we've got to remove, where's that rear bracket? This is the one here. So there's a rear bracket we've got to remove. Okay, so we've got to remove the 3 bolts on the rear bracket of the starter motor. And then, okay, with that removed, we've then got to take the 2 bolts. So you can see quite clearly the starter motor in blue here, and you've got these 2 bolts on the other side that we've got to take out. So we'll leave Ian, I'm going to answer my phone, we'll leave Ian lying under the car there, and we'll see how long it takes. So Ian's been busy and got the starter motor off. 20 minutes, half an hour job. In the end he actually couldn't get one of the cables off, so he's left it resting in there, but it's given us access, and we'll dive underneath and have a look at that in a minute.
Pull the starter motor back out the way, because one of the bolts for the starter motor is what you use for your timing tool.
Okay. Right, yeah. So we'll go and have a look at that underneath in a minute. What we've got on the top here, we have now got a bar onto the bottom crank nut. That was 21mm socket, wasn't it? Yep. So we've got that there. And what we're looking at doing, the name of the game is these two, oh, let me get in focus, these 2 tools here have got to line up and go in to the little slot in the cam wheel. Now, what you'll notice, and what you ought to notice, is how far they go in, because there's a little knurled area. Let me have a look there. There's a little knurled area, and at the moment they're not fully, so they need to go in more than that, because they're going through sort of 3 layers. There's a slot, but behind the slot there's a hole, but there's actually a hole in the head. So it needs to go in, and then when it gets to the right place, it will go in that extra bit more. So at the moment they're not there, but they're ready, so they're not going to jam on anything. And what we're going to do, we're going to go and look underneath, and Ian's going to turn the engine clockwise. You should always turn the engine clockwise, so as you're looking at the front, it's that way.
Handily our belt tells us here.
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, that's it. And we're going to wait until we'll see we've got a big hole. We'll see the little hole, and we'll see how the tool goes, and we'll drop it in. And obviously the idea is you lock your 2 cams and your crank, and then everything's good. So let's dive underneath. Bear with me as I get into position. Right then. Whoa. Right then. So if we look underneath the car here, and I get in the right spot and get the light in the correct place, you will be able to see, hopefully, the ring gear. Let me see, why can't I see what I can see? Hold on, bear with me. There we go. Right, hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you can. Now as Ian turns it, hopefully we'll see the space that the little hole appear. But it's a bit tricky for me because I've blocked my own view.
Can you see it yet?
Hold on. We'll go back a bit. I might have... Ah, there it is. There's the hole. So I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Hold on a minute, I'm pointing the wrong way. Where's the teeth gone? There's the teeth gone. There's a little hole on the foot. You'll see it. Now, yeah, you can just see it on the right hand side there. Now just turn it a little bit more in and we'll see it disappear. That's it, we see it gone. So once you've seen that, then what we've got further up is there's a second hole further up. Whoa.
That second hole should have a rubber grommet in it. You have to remove the rubber grommet.
So we can see the Well, it's really tricky to get it on the camera. But there's, above that main hole, there's a second hole, and we've got the little tool we've got to put in. So, bear with me, I'm underneath the car. So this is the tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put that up into, let me see if I lie the light down.
I think most kits come with 2 tools, so one for a manual and one for an automatic.
Ah, right, so I'm going to go up there. Look at that. And where does that little, it's got a little, oh, I'm getting stuff everywhere. Right, let's get that. Right, Right, and then that's located in there then.
That in fully?
That's not in fully. So what I need you to do is, I'm just showing on the camera where it is, and then if I go in, right, go on then Ian, turn it until I feel it plop in. That's it, that's plopped in, right? So that's plopped in now, and then do it backwards and forwards a bit, Ian. That's it, and back the other way. Yeah, that's locked. So that's pushed in fully now. You can see it's sort of gone home a bit more than it was, and that's locked. That you can see it moving there as Ian tries to move the engine backwards and forwards. Right, so that's what you're trying to do. That's the name of the game there. It's not rocket science. It's not hard. Right, and then we got that. Now, where's it pointing now? I think, hold on. Oh, my camera's gone. Wait, it's back, it's back, it's back.
So now, with a bit of jostling, I've been able to push these in. So you can see this one's all the way flush to the node section.
So now with that cam is locked going on. We've got the
And
crank
this
block.
one's a little bit tighter.
It's a little bit tight. There's probably some dirt in the block.
But it has pushed in.
And that's pushed in, and there's no real point, and you can tap it in.
But that's
So we're all
as far as I was
locked
gonna
now.
go.
So right, what do you want to do next, Ian? We're going to get some more tools, and I guess we can start taking the belt and the tensioners
This
off.
pulley's got to come off because I think it just gets in the way a little bit for routing, and
Okay.
then it's going to be a case of releasing the slack and everything. I think we've got to release these pulleys at some point.
Right, we'll go and read the manual, and we'll come back when we've worked out what we're doing next. Right, we've got a bit better light rigged up. So Ian's, so the big pulley there that holds the viscous fan, that's got to come off because it. And how many bolts have gone in?
Three. If I
Three.
can get to them all.
And Ian's have to have the breaker bar. They're quite tight. You might have to have a little extension on there. So it's these. It's this item here. There's one there, one the other side, and one on the bottom. And then we'll take this whole viscous.
I think it's just because of how close it sits to the belt. I think it just makes getting in around these idler fans easier.
We'll have an inspection. Now, one thing, while Ian finishes that, one thing we've been doing while we've been doing it is we've been getting the gunk out, and we've been cleaning all the bits we took off in the last video. So we're going to try and get everything back nice and clean. So that's all going quite well. Right then. Oh, smooth camera. Right then. That's the bolt that's come out of there, is it, Ian?
That's the bottom one.
That's the bottom one. Are they all the same? Let's have a look. Always worth knowing. That's the second one.
Top right.
Two the same.
I guess it's three the
We're
same.
going to go for the hat trick. Yeah. Always handy when we're putting stuff back together if we got it on video.
Ooh, there's a bit of weight in that.
Oh, there's a bit of weight in that. Let's have a look. All three bolts the same. They're pretty coarse. Obviously they're going into aluminium, so they're quite coarse threaded bolts. But that's the bearing there for the, and he seems fine. But yeah, that just sits. That's just a big bearing housing. That's good. Right, we'll clean that. And that's given us a bit more. Yeah, that's taken a. Right, and you're going to slacken the Cambelt pulleys now, you mean?
Yeah, that's the next job to do.
So they're locked
that
in
was,
place.
That was a 15 mil.
Okay.
For those big bolts, just
15 mil for those ones. Yeah.
We have to loosen these three bolts, and it does say do not loosen more than 2 turns.
Ah, is that because that's just there's a pulley there that's on a little vernier slot in it, so you only need to loosen it, and then the outer pulley should rotate in the slots. Yeah. So what size are we on that?
This is a 13 again.
Right. Now, interestingly, this timing kit we actually used on our SDV6, the 2.7 litre. So I think most of the timing kits work with both. But yeah, there might be a difference between the manual and the auto. Ours is obviously auto, and you won't get many manuals. It's rare to get a manual disco. But if you're doing it on a Jag or something, there might be some. Not sure. Right, so what are you on next then? We got those all loosened off, did you?
Yeah, they're all loose. So you don't have to take them out. You don't want to remove them. You just want to
Stack them. Yeah, they can rotate within those slotted bits. Then
we can release this out of tensioner. There we go.
And that's taken all the pressure off. All the pressure's gone now, Ian. We can relax.
So you can see we've got that little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, and you can see, let me see if I can get that, you can see the slot. If you look at the slot here, you can see where we've loosened those bolts now. The cams aren't moving, but the cam pulleys are. So that's the little bit of wiggle room you get to finely tune your timing.
I think that's just to allow for that belt stretch.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look. What have you got me off there?
So
this is one of the ones we're replacing, is it?
Yeah, so this is a sprung tensioner. And when you release it, it's this is where your spring tension comes from. And you can see a little, I don't know if you can see a little notch just there.
Yep, yep.
But this little notch has to line up with that little notch. That's when you know your tension's set.
Okay, right.
So when we put the new one back on, it'll have the same setup, but this little cutout lines up with that little notch.
Yeah.
And then you tighten it
So
up.
what we'll do, we'll clean that, and we'll put in a new one on anyway, aren't we? And we'll colour that notch so we can see it when we put it all back together. Yeah, that'll be handy in a dark engine bay. Let's have a look at the new one. Have we got? Well, we'll have a look at that when we do the reassembly. So that's that one off.
So that should be that one, and then
the belt can.
And the belt itself. So that's it. Scary moment now, because.
That's it. We're pooped now. We haven't marked anything with Tipex. Let's have a look. Turn the belt inside out and have a look if there's any sign of cracking or glazing. I wouldn't say that's new.
It's glazing a bit. It is.
Hold on, I'm not pointing the camera. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's starting to go. It's starting to
deteriorate
a little bit. It's in fairly good condition though, but we don't know. We just don't know what age this is.
No.
It could have been changed not all that long ago, to be honest. But
right. Good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to whip off the two idler bearings there, aren't we? Because if you're doing this, you might as well do those two idler bearings. So it's just those last two, isn't it, Ian?
Yeah.
And what have they got? Big Allen. What have they got inside of them?
Seems like they're both 13 still.
Yeah, let's whip those off, and then that'll be the dismantling and locking, and that'll probably be the end of this section of the video, I reckon. And it's nearly lunchtime, isn't it? 1:15. I'm sort of looking at the side of the engine, but when Ian's taking it off, we're going to have a look at the front. So that one's got no tensioner. That is literally a sort of idler. It doesn't look like it's... I mean, these will probably be fine, but while I'm in there...
There's you don't want an idler failing.
Then on you, throwing everything out.
After you've changed your timing belt, it's just not worth the hassle.
Yep, so that's good.
So I think we keep those bolts.
And they're both, yeah, those both the same for each of those.
There's a little bit of a tick to that one.
Is there any sign of any?
Perfectly smooth. That one's pretty smooth though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no play in that one. Tiny bit of play in that one though. So that one's just starting to wear.
Good.
Good. Yeah.
Right.
Good time as any to change them.
Anything else we need to take off in, or is that? We'll do the next video. We'll do the reassemble. But that is everything. You're locked. Your crank's locked, your cams are locked, your belt's off, and then the next video, which we'll put the link to here, we'll be putting it all back together.